This video is brought to you by Robinhood, the free and easy to use investment and trading brokerage. Robinhood allows you to trade and buy stocks, ETFs, bonds, and cryptocurrencies completely free. Also, if you download using the link in the description below, you'll get one free stock valued up to $200 just for signing up. No, you don't have to deposit a dime, and you could become instantly a part owner in companies like Microsoft, Walmart, McDonald's, or Disney just by getting lucky. So download Robinhood today and start taking advantage of this historic 2020 stock market crash. No, that's not my full portfolio. You guys aren't ready for that just yet. What's up, YouTube? Captain Capital G here, are aboard the sailboat for another awesome adventure featuring the Plunder Patrol archetype. So I had talked about a little while ago how Plunder Patrol were not going to be getting any more support in Rise of the Duelist because there are no TCG exclusives slated for that set. However, Konami then shocked me by giving this archetype more support in Eternity Code. You guys are looking at one of the new cards. This is Golden Hair, and she's kind of like a swap frog and or plague spreader zombie for their archetype. You can special summon her from the hand or graveyard, but you always have to discard a card. Now you can just normal summon her if you want. She's really not like a potent card because she doesn't have any attack value, but definitely a good card to set up. And keep in mind, their field spell can reset itself from the graveyard, or you can get it back from the graveyard by bouncing one of your Plunder Patrol monsters like in your back row back to your hand. It's like easy +1s, actually very similar to the Ignister Island in the Ad Ignister archetype. And Plunder Patrol got a bunch of support. They got a new main deck monster in Golden Hair. They have a fusion to go along with the rest of the mechanics that the deck has. They also have a fusion spell. They have an equip spell. The fusion isn't the easiest thing to like inherently go into, but you know, Plunder Patrol can kind of cheat around going into their extra deck monsters organically because that's just the way the archetype goes. Now, I do believe that you want to go second pretty much always with Plunder Patrol because the deck takes advantage of your opponent's field and graveyard. Like, you're kind of relying on their attributes, and if your opponent doesn't have any monsters in their field and graveyard, then what exactly are you doing with this deck? So it's very similar to Dragma. It's always going to want to go second. I feel a little bit of Zodiac kind of going on with this deck where it's like a lot of one card extra deck plays. You do go through your extra deck fairly quickly, which kind of makes me think that, you know, maybe we might need to go the Sky Striker Zodiac route where you're playing multiple copies of Pot of Avarice, because you can burn through like 5 monsters in a flash in this deck. I'm talking like one turn, you can go through like 5 monsters, and the deck is pretty good at breaking boards. Now you see Forbidden Droplets, the new card from Rise of the Duelist, in the opponent's hand. Keep in mind, this card can be a spell speed 4, and it's really good against decks that just have a bunch of monster negations. You can already see the Borreload Savage Dragon, the Appaloosa, the Herald of the Arclight. These are all monsters. So if the opponent, you know, if you discard some monsters for this, you can turn all of those off, and your opponent cannot respond with monster effects against this card. So, you know, it's just something to think about. Now, the opponent obviously playing Adamantipator's. I didn't really have to go over their board. You guys know the typical shenanigans the Adamantipator player is doing, and obviously this is a solid board with many interruptions and a lot of big monsters, and you got the Block Dragon that will float into more monsters, and that could even mean discard fodder for the IP Masquerena, which could go into anything from Mech Knight Crusade, you know, Avermax, or it can go into like Nightmare Unicorn, etc. But this deck is not bad at breaking boards. Anyway, second copy of Golden Hair. This was a misplay off of the jump, not for the Plunder Patrol player, for the Adamantipator player. I think that he was like, he used Appaloosa here. I feel like he didn't know that Summoner Monk, when it activates on field, it goes to defense mode, because if you want to negate Summoner Monk, you want to negate when your opponent discards usually. I've done that, I'm not gonna lie, I've done that like one time in the past where I just shotgunned the disruption like a Solemn Strike, and I was like, oh crap, I should have waited for them to discard. So that was already a little bit of a misplay. No biggie though. He's gonna discard, I believe that was Shipyard, the field spell, and his opponent uses Herald of the Arclight. That's going to prompt Called by the Grave, which will have him respond with Borreload Savage Dragon, but this is where the Forbidden Droplets comes in. So, activate Forbidden Droplets, discard monster effects. This is now a spell speed 4 that cannot be responded with other monsters. Now, he doesn't have any other monsters for disruption, but if your opponent just has all monster board, this is how you end up breaking their board. You just turn off their monster effects and they can't respond. Spell speed 4, obviously. obviously. So Appaloosa and Savage Dragon both get cut in half. Both of their effects cannot be used. And now he brought out, I believe that was Blackbeard from his deck, and he went into the no, this was Redbeard, excuse me. There's so many beards in this. There's like Redbeard, Whitebeard, and Blackbeard. He brought out Redbeard, and then he went into Blackbeard. Now Redbeard is going to trigger, and it's going to go ahead and equip itself. And this is like the free pluses that I'm talking about. So the field spell's in the graveyard, which he discarded for summoner mode, but you can get the field spell back by just bouncing the Redbeard to your hand. So basically you just get, it's not even a +1, it's technically a +2, because you get the field spell to be used for, you know, whatever reasons. Anyways, I believe that he is going to go ahead and activate Blackbeard's effect on field. So he's going to basically tag it out, or it's going to equip itself, and he's going to summon the Ixie. I'm just going to call these, I'm just going to call them all sailboats because they have different names, but they're all freaking ships. But yeah, he's going to summon the black sailboat, copying Borreload Savage Dragon as a dart monster. He then is going to activate Golden Hair in the graveyard, because I think he has like 3 of them. And again, Golden Hair, to special summon herself, she just needs a discard. So you can use one Golden Hair to summon another one. Now his opponent tried to use IP Masquerena here, but this is when the black sailboat can just discard a monster, and then you can just go ahead and banish that. And you're not losing advantage in this transaction, because when you do discard and banish an opponent's monster, your sailboat is going to search out a Plunder Patrol spell and trap. And by the way, even when Blackbeard tags itself out for another monster, you get to draw a card as well. So you're never technically losing advantage. Anyways, he's going to end on another Blackbeard, and he is going to lay waste to that Appaloosa. Now his opponent will try to, you know, get back in the game, all for the Block Dragon searches, and obviously he's going to go back into his extra deck. But this is where the Plunder Patrol booty is going to come in handy. It's basically a called by the haunted. It's a call of the haunted. So what he did here is he uses Blackbeard on his opponent's turn. He tagged it out for another sailboat because, well, the Xyz sailboat, because his opponent has dart monsters obviously on the field, Borreload Savage Dragon. And he can just simply discard a card. He does draw a card for free. He can get rid of this, this Adamantipator Synchro monster. His opponent can't do anything. And then you get yourself another search. Now, I believe that the card he pitched was Whitebeard, and Whitebeard allows you to summon another Plunder Patrol monster from your deck. So as you're doing this and you're disrupting your opponent, you're never technically losing advantage. Now, your opponent still can, they can put a lot of offensive pressure on you. Now, even though Adamantipator's are running out of extra deck, you are extra deck monsters, as long as you have Block Dragon, you can still like put a lot of generic bodies on board, and that's what he's going to do right here. So he spun back the black sailboats, and now he's just like, Cap, I gotta go into beatdown mode. I gotta try to get these damn monsters off field. But this is what he's going to do. He's gonna turn one of his opponent's monsters into fire attribute, and then off the Plunder Patrol booty, you get a free call of the haunted. Check out what he's going to do here. Both of these Redbeards can tag themselves out, and when I say tag outs, I just mean their ability to basically go into extra deck monsters from the extra deck, kind of cheating around synchro summoning. So activate 1 and activate 2. Bust out 2 of the white sailboats. Again, I'm not gonna read their names. I'm just I'm just gonna call them purple sailboat, black sailboat, and white sailboat based on the mechanic that they are. And look at the freaking size of these cards. They're both 4,500. Some people might wonder, Cap, how the hell are these monsters almost 5,000 attack? Well, each one gives another fiend monster on field 500 attack, so each one's getting 500 from the other, and then the field spell gives you 500 attack per every Plunder Patrol monster in your, or every Plunder Patrol card in your back row. So that would be 1,500 because there are 3 back row. This means that you're gaining 2,000 attack, and your opponent is kind of, they're not in good shape right now. Now he's going to activate the effect of Golden Hair from the graveyard. I think she's going to get banished, so she won't resolve. But here's the thing, he didn't really care. His entire game plan was just to get the field spell in the graveyard so that he could bounce one of these guys to his hand. And when you bounce these cards, you still keep the freaking synchros on the field. That is so nuts, man. It's a +2 basically, just being able to do that. And even your main deck monsters come out with pretty high attacks. So at this point, you're probably going to be able to OTK your opponent. Now he's going to summon purple sailboat, which is the fusion, by using the fusion spell, and you can now start to see that this game is looking like it's over. He is going to activate the fusion spell from the graveyard, banish it, get the equip card, and I think that's going to give him an extra 1,000 attack. And you can see right here, with having the equip card, he gained not just 1,000 attack on the purple sailboat, but then he also gained 500 attack because he had another Plunder Patrol monster in his back row. So each one of his other monsters also gained 500 attack. And I'm not gonna lie, for a 4-turn duel, having 3 5,000 attack monsters, that was kind of that was unexpected for Plunder Patrol. All right, here is what the deck looks like on paper. You can see that this is definitely post Rise of the Duelist. I'm not gonna lie, I'll just be fully transparent. I had no idea there was a Bluebeard in this deck as well. So let's see. You got a white beard, a red beard, a blue beard, and then also, where's the Link monster at? A black beard. How many freaking beards do we need? That's definitely a lot. You know, some of these cards obviously are from Eternity Code, so they are fairly new. You know, people are always knocking on the artwork of Plunder. I don't know what people I love the artwork of Plunder Patrol. I think people are crazy. And then obviously some of the names of this archetype: Plunder Patrol, Ship Shape, Ships Shipping. What the hell were they thinking when they made these names? Anyways, it's good to see salvage in a Yu-Gi-Oh deck because, you know, the main deck monsters are all water and basically you can get them all back with salvage. So it's perfectly fine that you're like constantly discarding in this deck because like you can just recover these cards fairly easily. I still think that it could be on the table to run Pot of Avarice. You guys saw how quickly you can burn through these monsters. And when it comes to Bluebeard basically just like you special summon it if you have another Plunder Patrol monster on field. And it has another effect when it goes to the graveyard. You can like draw one, discard one. Honestly, considering that there are so many level 4s, like the entire archetype is level 4, I kind of feel like you might want to throw in Utopia Double Cheese just because you now have a monster that you can freely summon when you have any of your other dudes. So it doesn't seem that difficult to go for Utopia Double. I mean, you probably have the extra deck space. You can probably take out like some of these nightmare monsters. You're probably not going to use them that much. The Utopia Double Cheese wins can be legitimate. And obviously you're going second with this deck, so you are going to want to run some Break My Board cards. You got 3 Tactical Talents, an excellent card if your opponent uses negation. You either get to draw 2 cards. I mean, maybe this is kind of like the pseudo Pot of Avarice, I guess you could say. And if this card is just dead, pitch it for something like Summoner Monk. But yeah, if you guys are interested in this deck, obviously it will be in the description below. You know, this is an interesting deck. This is something that I would consider playing. Right now, it's kind of between Plunder Patrol and Dragon Maids as to maybe what I want to play when Yu-Gi-Oh comes back.